Well, welcome back to our channel. It's been a few weeks, maybe a couple of months since I posted anything, and I apologize for that. But if you've been following the channel, you probably know that my health is sometimes a little bit suspect, and some days are more difficult than others. So this, am I okay here? Yeah, it's just adjusting the image. I hadn't intended this to be a night flight, but what the heck, might as well be. And this is in the Piper Tomahawk, which has just been released. So this is kind of a twofer, this video. I'm going to try and fly this airplane I've never flown before, which had an absolutely awful reputation. It would spin and be unrecoverable. I even remember stories when I was in flight training about flight instructors getting out of the cockpit in a spin and crawling out on the nose of the airplane to try and get the nose down. I think they fixed all that stuff in later models, but it certainly was a tricky airplane. And then the other thing I want to do is just bring you up to date on what's happening with the channel and a little bit on what's happening with Pimax. We're in the Pimax Crystal as usual. Where's the brake? I think I've got nightmare. There we go. So here we are in the Pimax Crystal. That's one of the things I want to take a moment to talk about. This is still just an amazing headset, and Pimax had quite a show the other day where they unveiled the successors to the Crystal. And what's interesting is one is pretty advanced, and the other is exactly what a lot of YouTubers asked for at the beginning. A headset with high resolution, no battery, no standalone mode, simple. So let's talk about that one. That's the Pimax Crystal Lite. And I think for about $7.99 US, you'll be able to get it with the auto dimming feature, and $6.99 if you're willing to live without that. Although I have to tell you, if you're going to fly at night, auto dimming makes all the difference in the world. Without it, the sky looks, grayer, and the ground is gray, and it's just not quite as nice. And I believe it comes with a pair of game controllers too, so maybe not. And it's so that's pretty cool. Think of it as the entry-level Crystal. And then the advanced Crystal is the Crystal Super, which is going to have 3840 by 3840 resolution for each eye, and between 51 and 57 pixels per degree, depending on which lenses you choose. Oh, and that's another new thing. Changing the lenses is now just as simple as snapping out one module and snapping in another. There's no more pulling the faceplate off and hoping you don't scratch your lenses with a little tiny inadequate screwdriver. I never really had any trouble with that, but the idea of having interchangeable lens kits, which incidentally are better sealed against dust, it's a good thing. Oh, and what's the other thing I wanted to talk about? Oh yeah, the Pimax Lite is about 300 grams lighter than the Pimax Crystal. So the people who have been, finding it a little bit heavy on their heads, or think the Crystal will be too heavy, that solved the problem. On the other hand, there's no standalone play, and you can't use the new Y-Gig module. So you pays your money and you gets what you get. I think if you want a really, really good flight sim experience at a reasonable price until the next big thing comes along, like the 12K, I think the Pimax Crystal Light is a pretty good choice. And if you want the very highest resolution and the very highest pixel density and a wider horizontal and vertical field of view, then I think maybe the Pimax Super is a good headset to step up to. I'm torn between buying one of those because current Pimax owners get a break of several $100s, or waiting for the 12K, which Robin, the CEO, says is still in development. So that's kind of where I'm at. I hope that some of the people on YouTube who were very negative and even nasty about Pimax maybe take a look at the Pimax Lite and the Pimax Super and revise their opinions. If they're honest reviewers and good YouTubers and the product is good, I'm hoping they'll say so. But you always have to remember that on YouTube, people who are trying to do this for a living are often all about the clicks. And you get more clicks and more likes if you're kicking somebody while they're down than if you're praising a small company. Pimax has kind of been the whipping boy for those sorts for quite a while. Not to say that they haven't at times deserved it, but I gotta say this. I've had the Pimax Crystal for a year now. I've had the plastic lenses.
Delta Echo Quebec India frequency change. Saskatoon approach Delta Echo Quebec India is type 5 miles southeast of Saskatoon, 3,800 feet. Request clearance to transition Bravo airspace.
I should turn the controllers off when I'm doing these. I have to say that in the year I've owned this thing,
Squawk 5
Crystal.
Tree 7 Tree Echo Quebec India.
I've had the plastic lenses, I got the glass lenses, and frankly, the plastic lenses were so good I could hardly tell the difference. I really wondered if I had two pairs of plastic.
Echo Quebec India.
But it was really just a sign of how good the Pimax plastic lenses were. And also everything that they promised me for this headset, they have delivered. But it took time. And it took them time to get the software right. I think this is where Pimax kind of threw gasoline on themselves and threw some YouTubers a match. They rushed this to market, and I was one of the beta testers, and really they were giving it to influencers in prototype form while we were still doing beta testing and finding the things that were wrong with it. And then, of course, over the course of a year, we discovered that some of the problems weren't bound to Pimax. There were problems with the way some particular motherboards handled USB ports that really messed with the Pimax Crystal. And then here's a silly thing. It didn't occur to anybody to test it alongside multiple monitors. I mean, we found out pretty quickly that if you're running 3 or more monitors, you've got to get your external monitor count down below 3 in order to work with the crystal. Otherwise, it just sort of flopped around. Okay, now let's talk about this little Piper trainer, the Tomahawk. I always thought it was a pretty airplane, but I always also thought it needed more rudder. Because the only thing that can save you in a spin is having enough rudder. You've got to stop that spin before you do anything. That takes rudder. And then you need to get the nose down and power off and recover gently. Which in some airplanes is a piece of cake. Cessna 150, it's not hard at all to power on. Power on is a little trickier. I don't ever recall practicing spins much in my Piper tri-pacer. but it was tough to spin. It just wanted to sink, kind of like a cherry. My Luscombe would spin, but it would recover easily. Well, what's my altitude here? Let's see if we can get this thing to spin. Hold the nose up till it stalls. This could be ugly, folks. Hear it stall. Hear the noise? Well, that was pretty uneventful. Okay, let's try it with power on. Airspeed's falling off. Trying to force it into the spin. There we are. Okay, throttle back. Opposite rudder. And gently pull up. And as we pull up, we can add some throttle. Okay, so it looks like this is one of the later versions. I don't think you need to be too afraid to spin it. Anyway, that's the update on the channel and what's happening with Pimax. My health has not been good. I've had a couple of run-ins with pneumonia, and those of you who've been around for a while know that I'm also, battling a few heart problems here and there. I expect to be around for a while, and I hope to be doing more videos in the near future. I don't want you to feel that I've abandoned our channel, because I still love VR. And I'll tell you what, I am seriously thinking about picking up a Pimax Super. What do you think about the Pimax Super or the Pimax Lite? Which one would you take? Would you take either of them? Well, let's just do a little 360 here. Put some flaps down. My dog wants me to take her out for a walk, so I have to do that. Ooh, airspeed got a little high on me there. I am not a night flyer. I think one notch of flap should be enough. Let's just bring it on home. Oh, we're a little high, maybe. Another notch of flaps. Chop the throttle back. We've got the runway made for sure. I just got to get in line. I haven't flown in flight simulator for quite a while. I'm a little bit sloppy. Okay, throttle is back. I'm going to keep the mix full rich though, just in case. If I have to power up again, it's nice to be able to. Let's add a little power in here. Hold it off, hold it off. Nose straight, there we go. Keep the stick back. Yoke back, let the nose come down gently. It's not the worst landing I ever made. It's kind of fun flying at night. I think we'll just pull off to the side of the road here, or the runway. We'll park on the grass. I'm sure no one will mind. Okay. Listen, thank you so much for sticking with the channel. I know I've been absent a little bit too often, but as I say, I think I'm beating this health thing, and I hope to do more videos. So thank you again for staying with us. If you're new and you like aviation content, particularly stuff related to VR, well, I hope you'll hit the like button, and dare I hope you'll subscribe. Oh, let me dare. Hope lives in my heart. All right. I want to thank you guys again very much for taking the time to watch this video. Take care. Talk soon.